What is going on YouTube? It's Brendan from Market Makers. A very special Bitcoin exclusive video for you today. You're really going to enjoy this video. I'm going to show you every market top, every market bottom, and most importantly, where Bitcoin will bottom and at what price, all in today's video, utilizing advanced Fibonacci techniques as well as some esoteric concepts. This is going to be a lot of fun. Guys, I have one special announcement to make. Many of you have been thinking about joining our Discord trading group. We have 13,000 people there, professional traders, trade signals, TA, education, most importantly, and a fantastic community. Our sale ends at the end of this month. It is half off right now to join. You can join by clicking that link in the video description for our Discord after you download Discord. But SimpleFX, one of our two sponsors, has an offer for you. If you plan on trading any equities, which I highly recommend, not financial advice, but it's going to be a super volatile year for equities. If you like to trade Forex, if you want to trade commodities, if you want to trade Bitcoin and a handful of altcoins, SimpleFX has this offer for you. Download SimpleFX. The link is in the video description. We have a double bonus offer through SimpleFX, up to $5,000 instantly available in your margin to trade with. And if you download Simple and deposit $1,000, take a screenshot of your transaction, take a screenshot of your username. Our Telegram link is in the video description. Send us those screenshots. We will manually add you to our Discord, and you are there for free for a month. So you get the best of both worlds. You get an awesome platform to trade, and you get an awesome trading room to be in. And you can also send us those screenshots through marketmakers.trade. That is our website. You can click the support chat if you don't have Telegram to send them that way. All right, guys, we're going to jump into these patterns. So everybody who watches this channel is familiar with Dante's Descent, my homage to Dante descending to the different levels of hell. This is Bitcoin's decay cycle into the different levels of price hell. And this is a very symmetrical decline. 20 bar tops. These three swing highs have given us fantastic trades in 140 days. I wanted to put this on the daily time frame and utilize some Fibonacci sequencing to see what we could come up with. Putting this on the daily time frame, I added these bottoms. Bottom from the low from the first box to the second box, 145 bars. 144 bars from the second box to the third box. And then obviously we also have the 138 days, 140 days, and 141 days. Remember, we're pulling this pattern from the weekly to the daily. Now, when I saw these numbers, this to me, because of this orderly decay cycle we are trading in, looks like the square of 144. And as a geometric trader, 144 is a very special meaning. 144 in and of itself is a Fibonacci number, but divisions of 144 and multiplications of 144 are present all throughout the marketplace. And in a harmonic sense, a harmonic cycle is viewed as a circle, a 360-degree circle, and you divide that into fifths. So 144 is actually half of a harmonic cycle. 2.5 times 144 equals 360. 144 is also 2/5 of a circle. 144 is also related to the harmonic speed of light. So 144 has a lot of different use cases in market geometry and sacred geometry. But when you're looking at these numbers, none of them are actually 144, except for that one bottoming pattern. So let's go ahead and take the next iteration of this chart. Looking at this on the daily time frame, once again, we have our projected pivot out here for January 3rd. We have the 145 bottoming pattern, the 144. What I did was I projected the 144 out all throughout the year of 2023. When I did that and looked at this bottom to the next top, we got 55. A Fibonacci number, the beginning of our sequence. And then from the top to the bottom here in green, 89 bars, a Fibonacci number. So projecting this out all through 2023 gives you 55, 89 repeatedly. But when I went to backfill this, starting back here at the beginning, from the top to the bottom, we got 75. From the bottom to the top, we got 63. Top to the bottom, 82, 58, 86. None of these numbers are 55 and 89. this is where the math comes in to see if we truly are trading in the square of 144. So you sum up all these zones, you get 796 days. 796 days divided by the 11 zones we took the sums from equals 72.36. 144 divided by 2 equals 72. 72 times 2 equals 144. The square of 144 is represented here. More interesting on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, again, filling out the entire pattern, utilizing the pivot day, the actual day from the daily. So we had to find the weekly candle that daily candle found in. Gave us quite an assortment of numbers here. 11 bars, 77 days, 63 days, 77, 63, 84, 56, 84, 56, 91, 56, 91. Couple of explanations for this. Patterns are dynamic. The market's a living, breathing organism that's constantly contracting or expanding. So you see patterns developing, and then you see a rhythm develop, which happens here later on in this sequence when you go 8 bars, 56 days, 13 bars, 91 days, and it repeats over and over again. The key is summing all of these totals up of days gives you 798 days, 2 more days in the daily cycle, but dividing by 11 gives you once again 72.54. 144 times 2 is 72. 144 divided by 2 is 72. 72 times 2 is 144. So again, the square of 144 is represented. But even better, on the bottoming pattern, you have 140 days, 147, 140, 147, 147. None of these are 144, but when you sum them together, you get 721 days divided by your 5 zones equals 144.2. You are trading in an organized pattern of decay because you're trading and operating under the square of 144. Remember, Pythagoras believed all of the world, the universe, could be solved by mathematics, the mysteries of the universe. People who trade with market geometry concepts believe that math can solve all the problems. Cycles are nothing more than math. You can translate cycles into math, whether you're tracking years, tracking wave movements, whatever you want to track, it's all transferable into math. Fibonacci, obviously, is math. So looking at this, guys, we have this harmonic relationship, the square of 144, the weekly, daily time frame. One more interesting thing here to show you on the daily. If you take the sum of days from the pandemic low all the way out to our August date here, the August 24th date, which I believe will be the true bottom for Bitcoin. If you take that sum of days, you get 1,259 days. And you see the Fibonacci number 89 repeating over and over again from tops to bottoms. So I took the 1259, divided it by 89, you get 14.14. Well, this one was easy, but 14.14 divided by 1.414 equals 10. This is 1.414 raised to the power of 10 by the power of 10, and it equals 14.14. So 1.414 is our harmonic ratio. It comes from the root of 2. Its reciprocal is 707, known as the sacred slice. So the market is trading in a very harmonic blueprint. The 1.414 harmonic blueprint is your market, and trading under the square of 144. Now, the way I believe the market price is going to travel is we're going to have this pivot date here, the January 3rd pivot. How accurate is this pattern? Well, being that we are transferring it from the weekly, I would say, plus or minus 72 hours, if not the day of. And you look at this, though, we've nailed the exact days on our trade setups that we've shared. So you're looking at this as a forecasting pattern for confluence. But price will travel. I believe this will be our pivot, and then we will pivot down to this April 2nd date. Very key date, April 2nd date. Let me show you why this is a key date. Here's some esoteric principles, esoteric concepts for you. So we have the spring equinox and autumn equinox. Very important dates. I'm going to get into this much more thoroughly in the equities video I'll put out Sunday, looking at the price targets for equities, because there's a lot of market examples. We have a lot of market history in the equity space. In Bitcoin's only existed in the longest bull market cycle in stock market history. But what you need to know is the spring equinox, the autumn equinox, the midsummer solstice, midwinter solstice, or you can just call them summer solstice, winter solstice. They all happen between the 20th and the 23rd. It varies year to year. The spring equinox is in March. The autumn equinox is in September. In the Gann calendar, these are 45 angles. This is where the majority of every single bubble cycle has topped or bottomed, is in the spring equinox or the autumn equinox. Very important. In a harmonic sense, again, utilizing a circle as a complete harmonic cycle, the spring equinox, that March date, is 180 degrees on the circle. 180 degrees, an about face, a pivot. The autumn equinox is the 360-degree mark on the circle, the completion of a cycle, the beginning of a new cycle. Very important to note, because if you look at the history in equities, the 1929 crash started in September. Going forward, the 1987 crash happened in September. Looking at the bubble cycles, you have .com crash started in March. It ended 2 years later in 2002, October 4th, I believe, just a couple of weeks after the autumn equinox. The pandemic crash happened in March. The current crash, this current crash, actually, we did not get our September date. We started in November in the NASDAQ and Bitcoin and in the Russell, and then in January. So this is, again, this is not a magical date. This is a date that has a lot of market history with it, looking at the different pivots. And if we just look at this Bitcoin cycle here that we are trading in, put these bars in here, white bars are equinox, red bars are solstice, and then look how this played out. Parabolic rise up, spring equinox happens, your topping pattern in Wyckoff, right? Distribution, you sell off. Midsummer solstice gave you a bottom here. The very next candle was your actual deepest retracement in the bottom. Then you pivot out for a run up. This would be your accumulation phase in Wyckoff. And in Wyckoff, this is your backup phase. And the autumn equinox in September gave you that low in this reaccumulation phase. Then you pivot out, back up to your new all-time high, your blow-off top, you sell off, and you have your midsummer solstice right here, your last pivot bar up before your sell-off at this level. Spring equinox here in white, again, a pivot to the upside, then another sell-off. Midsummer solstice was a bottoming candle, you get a wave up, and then you have the autumn equinox was a bottoming candle, you get a wave up, another sell-off, and we just had the midwinter solstice. Now, that was at December, I think it was December 21st this year, but this is the Santa Claus rally. See, you know, the marketplace is aware of these cardinal points in the market, but they don't study them, and they don't call them this. It's not good marketing to say, oh, this is the solstice rally. The solstice rally, this is what they call the Santa Claus rally. The 6 strongest days in the marketplace, the short week of trading, followed by the first 2 trading days of the following week, are because of the midwinter solstice. This is the Santa Claus rally. It would occur between the 20th and 23rd, depending on the year, and this is when it would start. So, guys, these points are relevant because cycles exist in all forms of matter. You have agrarian cycles, the spring equinox, you have plant cycles, you have cycles in civilization, you have cycles at the atomic level. This is very important to know. It's not hocus pocus. I don't view this like a horoscope. This is something you can trade with if you understand the marketplace. Just like how large time frames supersede smaller time frames when you're looking at patterns in the marketplace. Larger the cycle, whether it's planetary cycles, whether it's equinox, seasonal cycles, the larger the cycle, the potential more impact it may have in the marketplace. And you look at these in a sense of clusters. If you have a pattern that's terminating at a specific point and you have some esoteric confluence there, such as an equinox, which you have extensive market history on, it would be wise to pay attention to it. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So I want to show you some confluence for these pivot points, but let me walk you through the market, how I think it's going to play out. So we have our pivot. I do believe we could still wave up. I'll show you that when we drill into the smaller or to the daily time frame. I do believe we can still wave up, hit a target, and then we're looking for that first bottom, our false bottom. The marketplace will believe this is the bottom. This April 2nd date. Okay, this April 2nd date is right around just after the equinox. And this is a traditional time that markets could bottom or they could crash. I think we're going to sell off going into March in the equity space. So I would expect Bitcoin to bottom here. And everybody will think this is the bottom, especially if you get S&P down to say 3,200, 3,000. This is the bottom. Good, great, we're recovered. Now we can rally. Guys, all these bubble cycles happen in very similar fashion. This will not be the bottom. The US is not even in a recession yet. There's a lot more pain to come. I do think we're going to have massive economic failures next year, but we will have a rally. That rally will take us up to May 27th approximately, and then we will come down for our true bottom, which I have here on Bitcoin, August 24th. That would be obviously the month before the next equinox. Now, Bitcoin doesn't move at that 1-to-1 ratio with the equity space, so this date also makes sense, knowing that we are trading in the square of 144. Now, if I want to find some confluence with this with fib time, we can do that. And watch this. This is really interesting. We got to go back to the pandemic low. Let's get this expanded out here. Go to the pandemic low. Open this up a little bit. Use our trend-based fib time. Pandemic low, your first all-time highs would be your law of three wave pattern, right? That we've done many times, the Gann law of three pattern. And try to grab that market low there. All right, so let's look at the fib time, how this lays out, because this lays out quite beautifully and very interesting. So look where the 1414 is. The one spot 414 is 1 day after the January 3rd date. So January 4th, remember our harmonic blueprint is 414. January 4th, we have the 414. January 3rd is when our topping pattern based on our projection should complete. So you have that 24-hour time period there. Another esoteric event happens January 4th. It is perihelion day. So this is when the Earth is closest to the sun that it's going to be for the whole year. It's at its max orbital speed that it will be at for the whole year, and the sun will appear the largest in the sky, larger than it will appear for the rest of the year. So again, an esoteric event combined with the 414, combined with our topping pattern. Guys, this is a vibrational pivot. You've heard me use this term vibration a few times. Many people have asked what that means. It's a concept W.D. Gann became famous for as well, talking about the vibration of price and time. When you're looking at your chart, guys, you have your two axes here. You have your time on the bottom, your horizontal axis, you have your vertical axis with price. This is two-dimensional. The third dimension would be space. And you can envision this from a top, if you drew a line from a top to a bottom. This line is representative of vibration. Price will vibrate to square with time. Your two single elements coming together in a harmonic unity. That gives you a pivot. So this would be your vibrational pivot where price would reverse once it hits the next pivot point. Remember, moving along in a decoded cycle. And that's what that vibration term represents. It's a very popular term that in the 1920s, people were writing a lot of different books about number vibration. Actually, a French physicist, Louis de Broglie, 1921, he postulated wave-particle duality. And in that, he said that matter and vibration are indistinguishable. So all matter has vibration. Human beings have vibration. Organisms all have vibration. Planets have a vibration cycle. So vibration is becoming more popular. I'm seeing it pop up all over on pop-ups and TikTok and things as well. But this is a concept that goes back just about over 100 years. So very popular concept. But that is price and time vibration, looking for a vibrational pivot. And looking how this lines up. So you have your 1414, you have the 1618, reasonably close here to our April 2nd date. And again, fib time, again, we're just looking for confluence. None of these are the holy grail for trading. But this is interesting because the 2 fib, 2 is a harmonic ratio. See, in ratios, you have arithmetic ratios, geometric, and harmonic ratios. 1 spot 414 is harmonic. 2 fib is also harmonic, and this lines up once again within 24 hours of where I said our true bottom will be. That true bottom is going to be that rock bottom price. We're going to look at that again on the zoomed in daily, okay? So this will be your rock bottom price. So this is August 25th versus the pattern saying August 24th. So again, I think this pattern is going to be within 72 hours accurate all the way through. And we can see that in our first pivot coming up just around the corner. So price will travel through these various boxes, coming down to your next bottom, moving up to your next top, and we need to get some price targets for where this bottom's going to be after we pivot. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's look at some TA. So we have on the daily time frame, we have bottling up occurring here in our volatility channel just in time. And what I want to do, I showed you this before, but this is that trade that we took, because I think we're repeating this exact same step, but be that in a much quicker time frame here. So we pumped up 18.7% before we dumped 28%. This is our bearish divergence we made on the MFI. We pumped up almost 19%. And look, the channel was wider then. It is tighter now than it was then. The move up to the 200 moving average would take 19.45%. Is there enough time to get there? Well, Bitcoin dropped 28% in 4 daily candles. So yes, there's enough time to get there. It would take a violent pump, but there's enough time to get there. But we don't need to get there. Here's our pivot date here on the daily time frame, January 3rd. We don't need to get to that level. Let me show you this on the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame, I showed you guys this before, but let me get rid of this. This is that wave pattern here of the 5 touches looking in our descending channel, right? So you have your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That wave 5 is what we're looking at, just to at least kiss the top of this channel, give us that 5th and final touch, and then descend. And you can see this on this weekly iteration here as well. This gives us a triangle of 0.5, a harmonic ratio. The reciprocal ratio is 2. And you can see in an expanding, this would be contracting, this would be expanding. This would drop price down to 12,046. If only we just come up and kiss the top of the channel. Let's get some price targets for this to see if we have any confluence as well for this. So we're going to use a fib retracement. Remember our law of 3 pattern. We're going to base this off that wave 3. Coming down to that pivot out, actually. I want to do the pivot out here up to the all-time high. And look at what this does. The 1 spot 414. Amazing how that number is coming up all the time now, right? Your 1 spot 414 has you at 12,747. This pattern would take you to 12,046. What's a couple $100 between friends? And I believe this is the low that you're going to here on the March 27th. April 2nd date. Remember, this is a weekly candle. So this is that later March after the equinox, very early April, where you will be going. Now, could you go lower? Could you go to 8K? Yes, of course you could. This is a pattern. All patterns, like I said, are dynamic, right? We don't know what catalyst could enter the marketplace, but where we're going, whether we're going to 12.7 or 8, is not my primary concern. Nailing this entry for the trade is my primary concern, because I want to be wearing shorts on this ride down as we go to make a bottom. So this pattern has us projected out to 12,747. And again, that August 24th, 25th date, looking at fib time, looking at the pattern projection that I showed you guys, this is where I believe you're going to see that 4611. That is the golden ratio phi based off that wave 3 retracement. That's where I think you will see that number. Could you go lower? Yes, you could. Could you go higher? 5K, 7K, 8K. Again, The answer is yes. But what we're looking at is a dynamic pattern based on market contraction and expansion. And as of right now, this is your target based on that wave 3 retracement. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I gave you a lot of content in this video, so please do feel free to leave your comments and questions. I will answer them the best I can. Of course, the best way to answer you is for you guys to check out our Discord, where we can have full-blown conversations with myself and other members. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. The equities video with the price targets will be out Sunday. I'll delve more into the cardinal points in the market for you and give you those examples. I think it'll be another video you guys enjoy. Please do share this out with your friends and family. Take care, everybody. See you next time.